Hello everybody, it's Haresh here. Today we're going to be learning about how to solve for simple equations when we have parentheses, right? When people see parentheses, they get really scared. So we're going to learn how to solve for variables when we have parentheses. So let's look at this first question right here. We have 24 minus positive 4x plus 10 is equal to negative 4 plus positive 2x minus 6. So this 2x getting the quantity of negative 4, and this 4x plus 10 is the quantity of 24 minus. So let's learn how to solve for the variable. And in this case, we're learning how to solve for the x variable, right? For the x variable, we're learning how to solve for the x variable. So we have two x's. We want to make sure that when we're solving that both sides are equal. So first thing that we should look to do is remove the parentheses, right? The first thing we should do is remove the parentheses. So how are we going to remove the parentheses? Right now, the first thing we should look at is how to use distributive property. Remember a long time ago I said that we're going to use distributive property and it's going to come in handy, and this is the situation where distributive property is going to happen. So how are we going to use distributive property with different operations, right? It's not possible. So you have to remember that there is an intended one right here, and there's also an intended one right here. So when we use distributive property, we're going to do negative 1. We're going to distribute this negative 1 to this 4x, and we're going to distribute this negative 1 to this positive 10x. The same thing with this positive 1, we're going to distribute it to this 2x, and another positive 1 to this negative 6. So let's rewrite the equation as well as use distributive property. So we're going to have 24. Well, negative 1 times 4x, isn't that just negative 4x? And then we're going to have negative 1 times positive 10. So a negative times a positive is going to be a negative, and then 1 times 10, it's negative 10. So let's solve for the other side of the equation. We have a negative 4 plus a positive 1. So we're going to bring down this negative 4, because it retains its value and doesn't change. And this positive 1 times positive 2x, isn't that just positive 2x? Then you're going to have positive 1 times negative 6. A positive times a negative is a negative. 1 times 6 is 6. So this is the equation that we're going to work with. And we have to look to simplify, collect like terms. And let's start with that. So first, let's simplify, right? So what can we simplify on the left side of the equation? Well, I have a positive 24 and a negative 10. So 24 minus 10 is 14. We're going to bring down this negative 4x. And on the other side, let's see what we can simplify. Well, we have a negative 4 minus 6. Well, that's negative 10. And we're going to bring down this 2x, so positive 2x. Now, we're going to look to collect like terms. And we're going to simplify it. So we want to always look to use positive numbers, positive real numbers. So let's move this positive 10 to the opposite side. Well, I can't just cancel it out like that, right? I would have to add 10. So whatever I do to one side, I would have to do to the other side. So we're going to add 10 to this side. So what we're going to get is positive 10 plus 14 is 24. 24 minus 4x. And we're going to get this 10 is going to cancel. It's going to be 0. And we're going to get 2x. Now, let's look to move this negative 4 and make it a positive. So we're going to add 4x. We're going to add 4x to both sides. So now we're looking at 24. This negative 4x canceled this 4x. 4x plus 2x, isn't that just 6x? So our final answer is going to be to remove this 6 beside this x. Well, I can't just remove it just subtracting it like that. Well, I have to divide by 6. So we're going to divide by 6 on both sides. And what we're going to get is x, 24 divided by 6 is x is going to be 3. So just like that, we just solved for the variable of x. So let's try one more example. Now this is a more complicated and complex example. It's going to take a little bit of work. And let's try it. So the first thing we should do is look to remove the parentheses, right? We want to remove the parentheses, and there's parentheses in every single part of this equation. So let's look to remove that. So the first thing we have to realize is that there's an intended 1 right here. It's always there, but we don't write it because it's bad form. There's also a 1 right here. There's a 1 right over here. And there's also 1 right here. So they all have 1s. So let's look to distribute all the 1s, right? Let's distribute all the 1s. So negative 1 times 8y. Well, a negative times a positive is negative. And then 1 times 8 is 8. So 8y. Now negative 1 times negative 34. Well, negative times negative is a positive, and 1 times 34 is 34. Now we have a positive 1 times negative 2y. Well, positive times negative is negative, and 1 times 2 is 2. So negative 2y. Let's look at the other side of the equation. Well, this 1 is going to get distributed to this 4y, and this 1 is going to get distributed to this negative 2, as well as this negative 1 is going to distribute it to this negative y. So we're going to have 1 times 4. Well, isn't that just 4? We're going to carry over the y. 1 times positive 1 times negative 2. Well, positive times negative is negative, and 1 times 2 is 2. Same thing, this negative y, negative 1 times this negative y. Well, negative times negative is positive, and then 1 times y, we don't write the 1, so we're just going to write y. So now we're going to simplify and collect like terms. So what can we collect that's alike on this side? Well, we have a negative y and a negative 2y. Sorry, negative 8y and a negative 2y. So negative y, so negative y minus 2y, well, isn't that just negative 10y? And then positive 34, we're going to carry over the positive 24. Positive 34, we're going to carry it over. And that's about it for that side. Now we're going to try the other side. 4 minus 2 plus y. What can we collect on like terms? Well, we can just write 5y right here. And we can carry over this negative 2. So now we're going to simplify. So how can we simplify? We're going to look to move positive integers over. So this positive 2, we can carry it over by adding 2, right? We're going to add 2 to both sides. Well, I'm just going to get negative 10y plus 36. And on this side, I'm just going to get 5y. So negative 10y plus 36 is equal to 5y. So let's move this negative 10y to the other side. So we're going to add 10y. Add 10y to both sides. And now we're going to get 36 is equal to 15y. So we want to get rid of this 15 beside the y to isolate for the y, right? So we're going to divide by 15. Divide by 15 on both sides. And what we're going to get is 36 divided by 15 is equal to y. So that's our final solution. And if we want to further simplify, which we can, we're going to get a decimal. And what we're going to get is 2.4 is equal to y. So we just learned how to solve for variables when we have parentheses. So hope you guys found this video useful. And definitely subscribe to learn more videos or watch more videos. And have an amazing rest of your day.